I'm Jerry Sibley, the only custodian of a synagogue in the whole of England, and welcome to Catherine Street. It was originally called St. Catherine's Lane because of Catherine of Aragon. She lands here in Sutton Harbour in 1501, and this was her procession route here up to St. Andrews, before she carried on to go to London and marry Arthur, who subsequently dies, so she marries Henry. Then you'll know which one. The VIII. Not the best move in the world, that, and she doesn't produce the son and heir that she was supposed to. And of course he wants to divorce her, but he can't. Our king was a Roman Catholic, but not just the king, the entire country was Catholic. So he consorts with the Jews in Italy to get all the divorce laws brought into England. Divorces the Pope first, forms the Church of England, and divorces Catherine. She was quite lucky, of course, and managed to keep her head, one of the few. But I did say it was originally called St. Catherine's Lane. Catherine of Aragon wasn't a saint. So where did we get our saint from? St. Catherine was the patron saint of wheels. She was a Christian martyr that got strapped to the wheel broke, and they did actually chop her head off. And this is where we get our Catherine wheel fireworks from. The reason why the street was called that was because up there on the Hoe, where you see the trees just dip down on the left-hand side, used to be St. Catherine's Chapel, and this used to be the walkway up there. When Catherine of Aragon arrives here in 1501, she actually exclaimed that she was going to like Plymouth because it even has chapels named after her. And it's also one of the reasons why when you go into St. Andrews, if you have a look at the ceiling, that you'll find that all the lighting up there is all done on Catherine wheels. And even on the pew cushions, you'll find some Catherine wheels on the pew cushions as well, all relating to St. Catherine, not Catherine of Aragon. When she arrives here though in 1501, we used to have a castle and a town wall. Our town wall cuts right through the public dispensary next door and through the Baptist church. Straight across Knott Street, onto Hoegate Street, up Lamb Hay Hill to the castle. Not the Citadel. The Citadel's built by Charles II, and he's the guy who tears down our castle and our town wall and builds the Citadel. During the English Civil War, we all belonged to Oliver Cromwell. And although the Royalists had us surrounded and under siege for over 3 years, we were undefeated. That's one up for Plymouth. When Charles comes out of exile from Holland and claims the throne of England and becomes Charles II, the first thing he does here in Plymouth is to tear down our castle and our town wall, builds a citadel and points all the guns inwards at Plymouth. When we have a look at the size of the citadel in comparison to the size of Plymouth then, it's more than half the size of Plymouth. That is intimidation at its very best. So when the wall comes down, Catherine Street is extended, it becomes the longest street in Plymouth and remains so for over 120 years and stretches from the trees on Royal Parade right down Catherine Street, through the flats and to the trees up on the Hoe. It's not until the 1830s that it gets chopped in half again and the other side is renamed Zion Street. Nothing to do with the synagogue or the Jewish people whatsoever. There used to be a Zion chapel over there. And then after World War II, the bottom bit gets paved out and we shrink once again. And so we now ended up with Catherine Street as you see it today. That's the length. The width of it is also something different as well. Catherine Street isn't where it appears to be today. Catherine Street really is over there. This is where Catherine Street is. It's only very narrow, very similar to the roads that we would have had on the Barbican, just wide enough for a horse and cart. And where we've been stood outside the synagogue here, this is the last plot of land inside of Plymouth before that wall comes down. The Ashkenazi Jews buy this in 1742 and they build the caretaker's house here. They build the synagogue at the back of the caretaker's house. But in 1834, the council, the corporation as it was then, did a compulsory purchase order. They bought the caretaker's house, but they also took off the front of the public dispensary. They took the poor workhouse, the almshouses, the grammar school. They cleared the whole lot out and built the Guildhall Square. The synagogue is built at the back of the caretaker's house, all of a sudden gets exposed for the very first time. At the moment, you are actually stood in my living room. But when the building goes, that's why it looks like it's been cut right off the end, because it has. This used to be an inside wall. When we have a look up through Catherine Street, you'll recognise the lantern next door. This is an 1874 police lantern. When they clear everything out and build the Guildhall Square, we end up with a brand new police station. Next door we have the Treasury Restaurant today, but it's not. Originally it was built as the law courts. One of the fascinating things I like up here we've still got the remnants of the cells underneath the police station here. Nice bars. And so we'll enter the lane now.